All right, we're live. How's everyone doing? As usual, audio, visual check. How is everything? We did have some technical issues in the last live stream, ladies and gents, so I have a backup right behind me, a completely different system, which I'm going to jump to, which will take me about 20 seconds if we do have any issues. Let's see how you guys are doing today. Thank you all very much for tuning into this one. Just want to hear from you guys if everything is all right. And I've already made a video earlier today. So if you're watching this one live, I would actually recommend that you leave this video, go back to the previous one, watch that first. It's a short video, and then come back to this. I think that's the best way to do it. I want to stay away from repeating a lot of what I said, but I might have to. Now, the key thing for Bitcoin that it's done right here is it's risen above the two key areas of resistance that I've outlined on this channel for a long time. Now, most recently, I was very, how do I say, explicit about it. I was very open about it. I was saying that if Bitcoin manages to rise above this yellow line, it's probably going to rocket up to 35,000. If it rockets above 35,000, I'm sorry, if it rises above 35,000, I'm expecting it to hit 40 to 42. So we've just, I think just now hit 40,000. Yeah, if you take a look at the OHLC right there, we've just hit $40,000 on the dot. So pretty damn perfect. That's directly after breaking $35,000. So obviously I have been bearish in the market, but you know what I had, which I think is absolutely essential, which everybody needs to have, is a plan if things go in the opposite direction, right? They need to. None of this stuff should be taking you by surprise. Obviously, nobody would have expected Bitcoin to pump this quickly, but the end result of finding resistance at this level, and then this level, and then this level, should not be taking us by surprise. It's not taking any of you by surprise because you watch this channel, you're subscribed, you hit up the like button. Thank you all very much for all of your love. And of course, that means that these kind of things are not going to take you massively by surprise in this market. So I think that's important to touch on before we get into the rest of it. But I just want to start off with my real analysis here. And then as usual, I am going to start taking your questions and I actually will start analyzing other charts that you want me to look at. So let's go with this. If you do start to encounter technical issues, let me know. If the stream starts getting a little bit buggy, I'm going to switch over to my other system. I do prefer to use this one, but if I have to, I'll change. And the main thing here that actually developed from my previous video was I mentioned that Bitcoin over here could end up forming a little bit of a bull flag and then continuing up higher. And that's exactly what Bitcoin did here. It's just got so much bullish sentiment that it literally can't contain itself. It's been trading sideways here for only a matter of hours, and not many hours at you know, this is less than 15 hours, probably about 14, 13 hours that Bitcoin was just trading in this sideways range here between $38,000 and $39,000. This narrow, you know, what is this, about 2 to 3% range that Bitcoin was trading in right here. Literally just consolidating before taking the next move up. And obviously this is the same level that Bitcoin topped out at previously. We're already finding resistance here again, and so I think this is a potential spot for Bitcoin to form either a double top and then trade downwards, or more likely, I think Bitcoin's actually probably going to be able to break this level fairly soon. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin broke this level during this live stream. So that's also something I want to keep in mind. Now, as I'm going along, please do drop your questions in the comments, and I'm going to get to them as I move on in this live stream. If I don't answer your question when I start going through questions, that means I didn't read it. So please post your question again. But right here, some potential for a double top, but I think more likely that Bitcoin just breaks this resistance the next time that we hit it. Obviously, a lot of people were able to start taking some short positions up here. Those positions are now getting washed out, and you know, when you close a short position, obviously that means you have to go long, right? When you've sold something, you need to buy it. And by the way, for those of you who don't know how shorts work, I'm not going to go into this too much in this video because we cover it in the Fourth Lies Academy course and things like that. But you know, when you go short, you're essentially going into negative equity for a temporary period of time, and so you need to bring yourself back up to zero. It's just like when you open a position, your position goes from 0 to X, right? And X can be 1 Bitcoin or 10 million Bitcoins, but you go above 0, and so to close that position, you need to bring it back to 0. And if you go short, again, you're basically going into negative equity. You need to bring it back up to 0 to be at break even. So in order to do that, it means you need to buy it back. And you know, overall, we've already seen some nice squeezes in this market. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is where we end up breaking the resistance level. It would be very normal for Bitcoin to pull something off like this. Take a look at this within this very same rally where Bitcoin ends up topping out at $32,860. I know you can't see the numbers right here, but this point right here is $32,800. And then the very next time that Bitcoin attacks this level, it does falter a little bit, which would look for us a little bit like this, but then eventually it takes another leg up and it starts moving very, very nicely. So, and we're already potentially doing that right now. So my key level is still $42,000. VIPs already know exactly how I plan on trading that range because it is slightly complex, but it's all been broken down fully for all VIP members to understand exactly what I'm doing and more importantly why. I have a plan for trading this direction, and I'm very soon going to have a plan for trading the market if it drops. I think it's a little bit less likely just now for that to happen, but if Bitcoin does drop down, one of the key things that I'm going to be looking for, which I mentioned in the previous video, is I am going to be looking for a little bit of support. And the reason for that is, I've been mentioning for a while that these are the key highs to beat, right? And Bitcoin has now finally beaten them. It has this high over here at about $41,000, $41,500, and then it has the main level, which is of course 42, and we can see that right here, right? So this is a clear macro high. This is another clear macro high. Now this is very, very important in terms of macro highs that we have in this formation right here. The ones that I'm seeing, and obviously this is open to interpretation, are these three. You can then start to point these out, and I did point them out to you previously, but the main three are just these. And we've now broken this one and we're challenging this one, right? So I think that there's some great potential here for Bitcoin to start moving very, very nicely. And I think that while we're reclaiming these highs, Tone Vades was actually mentioning this in his live stream yesterday. I didn't watch today's one, but go ahead and check him out if you want to know how to spell his name. It's like this on screen. He is by far my favorite analyst alongside Crypto Kirby, whose name is spelled like this. They are both phenomenal analysts, and I've learned a lot from them. So if they were good enough for me, trust me, they're good enough for you. And what Tone was mentioning was that, and by the way, meeting Tone was amazing. I got to drive him around in my Ferrari. That was like an amazing day. Being able to reach above this high, I think, would really limit the arguments that Bitcoin is going to significantly drop back down again, because what we are doing is reclaiming some territory that we've lost for a long time. To put it into perspective, Bitcoin has not risen above this level it has not reached this level now for 40 days, and it hasn't reached this level for 26 days, right? So that's quite a long period of time, and that might not sound like it's very important in a vacuum, right? In a vacuum, that might not sound very significant, but the reason it is very important in this market is that as soon as we start reclaiming these levels, we're doing something else psychologically for this market, which is showing the market that actually this market is now, carrying a very bullish sentiment. And so while we reclaim these levels, not only are we doing something great on a technical level, we're also starting to do something great on a psychological level, where I think the bullish sentiment is going to mean that a lot of people will start to seek some bullish positions here. Now, all of this is contingent on breaking $42,000. As long as we stay below $42,000, we still haven't broken the more important macro highs. This is still an important level right here at 41.5 that we haven't broken, and after this is still 42,000. Now, as we break each level, we become more likely that we're going to break the next one. That's quite obvious. Obviously, the extent to which we become more likely is the important part, because that's where it's open to interpretation a little bit more. But below $42,000, we're still below resistance, and it is heavy resistance. Bitcoin has not been able to rise above this level since the first time that we contested it after dropping back down until now, for 68 days. For over 2 months, Bitcoin has not been able to break above this level, and to me, that is definitely an indication that this is still going to be a challenge. And we know that it's a challenge because we're staying level-headed, right? The market is up by 10%. It is just an absolutely glorious day, and actually much more than 10% if we measure it from the low. I mean, everyone is excited. Everyone's making money again, up by 37%. Fourfly's VIP members are swimming in it. I'm doing very well as well because I've been shorting the trend this whole time, making money on Bitcoin while it's dropping, so that when Bitcoin rises back up to these levels, I have more Bitcoin. And that is very much the case. I have more Bitcoin here than I did over here, which means that I'm wealthier right now than compared to when Bitcoin was over here, and of course when Bitcoin was over here, and that's how you win. You know, if you believe the market is going to continue to move up, then why not accumulate Bitcoin while the market is moving? Of course, all VIP members get to see how that goes in real time. And take a look at this big winner. I think he's the biggest winner of VIP today, with a 356% profit going long on Bitcoin right here. You know, making money while the market is going up and making money while the market is going down. That's what we're all about inside of Forward VIP. So very, very cool. These steps on screen if you do want to join Forward VIP. And like I said, I will start going through your messages in just a bit. I'm sorry, your questions. I do see them on screen. By the way, if you're a VIP member and you want to ask a question, just shoot me a message on Telegram, and I will also get to those. But let's bring it back to the chart here for just a moment. I've lost my train of thought. Right, the percentage move up. It's up by a significant percent. I think it was, what, like 37% that I said, which is absolutely great. You know, but at the end of the day, we're still below this key area of resistance. And you know, what a beautiful bull trap it would be if Bitcoin ended up finding a rejection here and then continuing on down. We can't rule that out yet. You know, everyone wants to be very excited right now and celebrate, and I think celebrate prematurely. But the fact of the matter is, my friends, even though we have done some amazing things and we're about to do another amazing thing right here, we're not out of the woods. The one-day Ichimoku Cloud, which we are still paying attention to, right? We're still paying attention, even though we might be wrong, even though the Ichimoku Cloud might you know, turn out to not be very useful right now as we're attacking these resistance levels. I'm still, you better believe that I'm still going to be using this, because, well, when you get rejections, they don't look obvious, right? At this high over here, everyone and their nan, including me, thought that Bitcoin was going to pump up. Everybody. But it didn't, right? So when it looks most obvious, it's actually where you tend to get those rejections, right? Take a look at this at $42,000. This one-day Ichimoku Cloud is extremely reliable in my experience. It is one of the most reliable indicators I've ever used in this market, and it is showing a heavy cloud of resistance right here, and so I cannot ignore it. The bad part is that this cloud stretches all the way up to $47,000, and I mean, that means it's not going to stop facing challenges for a while. I don't know what to make of this. I definitely don't want to believe that Bitcoin can keep encountering resistance in this range, but my trading plan has taken account of that anyway. You know, this does not agree with my main analysis, which is that Bitcoin is probably going to shoot from 42 up to 52, and because of that, I am changing my trading plan accordingly. Very, very important. I wish that I could stay stuck in that belief that Bitcoin is going to take a rocket ship up to $50,000, but it might not happen, and I need to be prepared for that as well. Very, very important right here. We also have the 200-day moving average, which Tone Vase was also talking about, you know, on his live stream, potentially offering a little bit of resistance for the market right here. It's been trending up very, very strongly. At some point, it is going to need a pullback, and I mean, literally, if we just kind of keep on trending up higher like this, I think it is going to have to run out of steam and find some sort of a pullback. And honestly, I think that would be enough. I think that would be enough if Bitcoin were to challenge this Ichimoku right here, fall down to a level like 35, which I've outlined to you already in the video earlier today with the Fibonacci retracements, why that would be such a good thing. If it were to do that, that means we've already challenged the Ichimoku Cloud once, so breaking it on the next attempt, I think, is going to be significantly more likely. I'm just telling you what I think would look healthy for the market. That's not to say that the market is going to move in healthy ways. You know, it doesn't have to do that, as is evident by this and this. Bitcoin does not need to move in healthy ways. It's just better if it does. So I think that's very, very important right there. I want to take a look at some of the other indicators before I start going through your questions and taking a look at the other notes that I have right here. 1 second, let me just make sure I haven't missed anything. I think that's the main thing, is just that there's still a lot of resistance overhead. You know, we do have the Ichimoku Cloud, we have the horizontal resistance. You know, nobody wants to talk about this right now. And you know, when it's most uncomfortable to discuss ideas like finding more resistance, that's where it's most essential to do it. So, you know, that's why I'm bringing it up. You know, I would love to be jumping on chairs and tables and partying right now. But the fact of the matter is, I am a trader, and I need to look at this very sensibly. And I always need to have a little bit of caution with me. You know, like I said, we are still trading below a bunch of resistance. We've reversed a lot, which is great. It's absolutely great. But the main area has not been beaten yet. So You know, and I've been saying this for a very, very long time. You know, you got to be able to say where the moves up are going to happen. Like I said, we get a little bit of resistance here, a little bit here. If we break this one right up to 35, we break 35 right up to 40. Again, that's just happened to a T. It's absolutely phenomenal. And you know, that means that you've got to be able to kind of forecast what happens to the upside, and you know, stay a little bit neutral as well, so that you can say, you know, when Bitcoin might end up falling as well. I think that's very important. But as we can see with these other indicators right here on the 1 hour time frame, for example, the Ichimoku Cloud now is starting to look very hospitable for Bitcoin, where if it does drop down towards $36,000, it is probably going to find a little bit of resistance, and that is always very useful. The EMA ribbon nearly managed to catch up to Bitcoin right here. This is actually what I said in the previous video, where if Bitcoin kind of trades sideways and the EMA ribbon catches up to it, that's where I think Bitcoin can take the next leg up. It happened a little bit earlier than that, but still the general premise that I outlined in the video did end up happening, which is absolutely great. And it's more important, I think, on the 4 hour time frame, which we can start to see is, I mean, it's going to be a little bit slower than this, but it is, I think, starting to catch up to the trend, and it does look good. It looks like Bitcoin does have legs, you know, to be able to rise up to these resistance levels right here. I mean, it's just very conveniently timed how all the bullish news articles are just now coming out, and obviously I think a big part of that is down to you know, manipulation in the market and different things like that. So I'm going to go through some other coins now, like Ethereum, which I think is absolutely essential. But before I get to that, I've been wanting to tell you guys for a while that we've started up a Hindi YouTube channel. So if you're from India or any country that speaks Hindi, although I think the only country that speaks Hindi is India, then you can check out the link that I'm about to put in. I should have put this in live chat already. You can check out this link in the live chat, and I'm going to put it in the YouTube comments. So if you're watching the replay, don't worry about that, to find our Hindi YouTube channel. And we also have a Spanish one. So if you would prefer to watch our content in your native language, and you're either Indian or Spanish or Mexican or any other country that speaks Spanish, then here you go. We've got these two channels. They're already rolling out. The content is great, and it's basically just everything these videos are, but dubbed in your language. So go ahead and check that out. Again, if you're watching the replay, they are both going to be in the comments waiting for you to check out. Let's go ahead and switch it over to some more analysis of different markets right here. I want to focus your attention on Ethereum. So bear with me while I pull up my notes for Ethereum. Oh, this is the first time I think I don't have notes for Ethereum. Wow. Okay. That's funny. All right, well, we're going to freestyle the analysis for Ethereum then. That's no problem. It's not going to be the first time I've freestyled some analysis on this YouTube channel. So someone's asking what's going on. Is 90% of Indian people speak English? Why bother? Accessibility is extremely important, man. This is one of the only good things that I think I learned from observing the way Britain does everything. The United Kingdom, the UK takes accessibility. Any like a left-leaning politically kind of country, they take disabilities extremely seriously, and accessibility more importantly. So I do agree with that, and it doesn't cost me much. So you know, I think it's worth implementing these things. Anyway, so Ethereum right here, just tickling some resistance. That's a very weird word, tickling. It's just flirting with some resistance, right? Again, a weird word, but I like flirting a little bit more with a little bit of resistance right here. Bitcoin is not. So I think that Ethereum is probably just going to do whatever Bitcoin is doing, but it's worth noting that Ethereum is actually underperforming compared to Bitcoin. Ever since this rally started, Ethereum has lost a lot of ground against Bitcoin, which is great for me because I sold my Ethereum way higher. I've already shown you where I sold my Ethereum on the USD chart. I didn't sell against USD, but the time that I sold was just phenomenal, and I've already told you I'll never stop bragging about it. There are a few plays like this which are definitely among the top, you know, like the best plays of my life, and this was definitely one of them where I sold my Ethereum right up over here. I'm never going to forget how good that decision making was. I was also selling my Bitcoin up towards 52k, so all VIP members saw that. You know, it is underperforming against Bitcoin right now. I'm not actually going to look at Ethereum because typically what happens with these markets right here, and this is very important, if you don't know this, then then you should be aware. Someone's asking, what about Urdu? Urdu and Hindi are very similar. This is the dialect of Hindi which Pakistanis understand, so so you should be fine with it. Anyway, what was I saying? It's always funny, the beef between India and Pakistan. What was my point? Oh, right, Ethereum and Bitcoin. You see, when these markets have been in a bearish trend for a while and then suddenly they wake up, it's almost always Bitcoin that leads the market, up by 13.5% compared to Ethereum's 9.5%. Compared to, well, Swissborg, it's just rocketing up, but that's Swissborg. Swissborg always does that. Link doing quite well as well. But these other altcoins against Bitcoin, they're losing value. This is quite normal, right? A lot of the crypto market right now is going to be red when you compare it to Bitcoin, and a lot of that, I think, is simply down to the fact that people generally are only interested in Bitcoin for the most part. They only dabble in altcoins to make more Bitcoin. They're very much expandable and not important in that way. The altcoins are, whereas Bitcoin, I think, gets a lot more of the attention, the sunshine, and things like that, just when things flip from bearish to bullish, right? So I think what typically happens with I'm not saying I think, I know what typically happens with Bitcoin is that it will finish its rally. Perhaps it rockets up and then it kind of trades sideways, something like that. And when Bitcoin has finished outshining the market, that's when the altcoin market starts popping off. And it's worth taking note of the psychology behind these markets, right? I want to break this down for you because a lot of people just straight up aren't aware of this, which I think is somewhere between irresponsible and dangerous. They probably mean the same thing, to be honest, but a lot of the time right here, ladies and gents, the reason that people will trade Bitcoin first and then Ethereum and then the rest of the altcoin market is generally happens that way because at first people, after losing a lot of money, they they're scared, right? Like when you make a lot of money, you're feeling confident and you can do anything in the world. You can tackle anything, and in the financial games, that means you start taking very big risks because you feel like a king and you feel like you can take anything on. But when you're losing money, you're a little bit more defensive. You want to keep what you have safe, and you want to you want to basically be able to retain what you already have, and so you're playing it a little bit more defensively, and you need to come out of that defensive play style, right? So you're going to start making a little bit of money, then you're going to start feeling smarter. When you're feeling smarter, and we're just pushing towards 41,000 right now, by the way. We're at 40.4, but you're going to be feeling a little bit smarter then. When you're feeling smarter, you're going to start wanting to take on additional risk, and so you'll go into something that's not as risky as altcoins, but still much riskier than Bitcoin. So Ethereum, you're going to make a little bit of money on Ethereum, and some other shitcoin is going to start pumping up where Ethereum has made you plus 25%, but another shitcoin has made you plus 30%, and now you've made money on Ethereum and you've made money on Bitcoin, so you feel really good, and you want to compound that by jumping into altcoins. Now, hopefully, I don't need to tell you guys how dangerous that is. The reason that this is very dangerous is that you're gradually going to be open to more and more risk, and you're going to feel like you're justified because you're going to make money. You're going to feel like you're actually smart for doing that. And when that starts to set in, you're going to start getting a little bit big-headed. You're going to take more unnecessary risks with shitcoins. And these are not necessarily shitcoins. I just call them that because it's funny. But, a lot of the actual shitcoins that, obviously serve zero utility, you're going to start thinking that it's a good idea to dabble in them. And of course, you end up being a story like Doge, which up until a few days ago was doing absolutely terribly. Take a look at this chart right here, and it's still, to be honest, it's still doing absolutely abysmal compared to other markets like Bitcoin, but I don't need to tell you that. You're just going to end up buying the hype on some stupid rally like this, and you're never going to get a chance to sell, and you'll end up selling when you've lost half your money because you don't learn your bloody lesson when you entertain stupid ideas like that. So that's just a passion-fueled rant of why Bitcoin typically moves a little bit higher first, then coins like Ethereum, and then the rest of the altcoin markets, and of course the shitcoin market as well, like Doge. So I think that's very important to keep in mind right here. A lot of people don't tend to consider these topics. A lot of people aren't even aware of it, and they entertain those ideas anyway, and I was one of them. So here you are from somebody who has been through it all and has been in this market for well over 4 years now, which is not only a significant proportion of Bitcoin's life, but also my life. That's one of the key takeaways that I was able to gain, and something that I stopped doing. I stopped paying attention to pretty much the rest of the altcoin market, purely because I typically find that I can make money safer on Bitcoin. And while I may not make as much money on Bitcoin alone, if Bitcoin goes up by 14%, the altcoin market, when it's rallying, might go up by 40%. That's the altcoin market making about 3 times more than what I've made. Well, I would just dial up my Bitcoin trade with 5 times leverage, and all of a sudden I'm making more than your typical altcoin trader with less risk. And obviously that's the model that I like to trade the most. It makes sense to me, considering how risky Bitcoin is alone, it makes sense to me to not trade other coins. They're very, very risky. But of course, people don't think about that when they're a little bit too desperate to make money. And you don't have to be poor to be desperate, by the way. A lot of people think that's what I'm saying. Nope, not at all. You just have to be a little bit loose over here to take really stupid financial decisions. But of course, if you want to be able to learn how I'm doing it, and I'm very strongly biased in thinking that I'm doing it in a very healthy way, of course, then you can follow these steps on screen to join Forfly's VIP, where you're also probably going to get free access to one of our courses, depending on which plan you take. Most people do, depending on which plan you take when you join Forfly's VIP, you're going to be getting free access into one of my courses, where I'm going to teach you how to trade from start to finish. Also, if you do want to sign up to an exchange, you don't already have one, or if you need a backup, meaning if you don't have a backup yet, then Bybit, in my opinion, is always the place to be. It's linked down below with a referral bonus. So depending on how much you depending on how much you deposit onto the platform when you sign up using my link down below, you're going to be getting some free cash extra deposited straight into your account, which you can do anything you like with. So it's well worth checking out. If you are in the United States, you are going to need a VPN. That's what I was doing when I was there, but of course I can't endorse it. I am ready to start taking your questions right now, though. Just want to see if I've missed any final points right here. If you're enjoying this live stream so far, by the way, guys, please do smash up the likes. Thank you all very much for tuning in. We're going to do many more of these live streams now that things are getting exciting in this market once again. Let's see if there's just another thing I want to point out to you. It's good to be aware of these things, and we were talking about it on this YouTube channel already. But I want to acknowledge it again because it's been proven correct now. It's the typical bullish pattern for Bitcoin, right? So it's where Bitcoin kind of ends up forming a parallel ascending channel like this. We've now formed 3 of them, which have resulted in pumps to the upside. So this is quite a typical pattern for Bitcoin, where it's going to move up and then slowly move up, and then move up quickly, and then slowly, and then quickly, and then slowly, and then quickly. Very, very typical for Bitcoin. For the rest of the markets, global markets, it's typically actually a weak sign, but it's still definitely something to keep in mind for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin does typically respond quite well to patterns like this. And it's all about being aware of it. We were aware of it over here. This is why I said that if Bitcoin manages to rise above 35, probably going to reach levels like 40. That's exactly what's happened. I think it's very important to keep in mind that even though you might be somebody who's trading the downside, as long as you're able to switch that bias quickly when new data is presented to you, i.e. as long as you're able to change your mind, and more importantly, as long as you're exercising good risk management, so that even if you are wrong, you're not going to be out of the game, you're in a very, very strong position. The best case scenario, I think, is always, even if you are wrong, which clearly I was wrong about the direction of the trend right here, if you can close some profits trading the wrong side and then get stopped out at break even, you've won, right? There's nothing better than that. If you can make some profits down here and then get stopped at break even, you now have more Bitcoin here than you did over here, which means that the next time Bitcoin is at the same price level, you're richer. And that is very, very important. Trading is more important than analysis and being correct. And I think a lot of people lose sight of that when the market gets boring. But of course, you're going to have a big slap in the face to remind you about it when the market starts rising and everyone's making money, because you might realize that you've missed out on a lot of potential gains down here, which are only going to magnify themselves when the price gets up here, if it does. Anyway, that's a lot of me ranting. Once again, if you want to be able to see how I'm trading, then the steps are on screen to join Forfly's VIP. And let's take a look at your questions and comments right here. So I'm going to start from the top, but if I do miss you, then please write your comment again. And as usual, by the way, make sure you write my name like this, that I've just put it in the live chat, if you want to make sure that I see your questions. Let's pump up those likes a little bit more, get a few more likes up in this, and let's get straight into the questions now. So what do I think of a big upside down Bart Simpson? So let's take a look at that. What this person is describing is... Actually, I don't know what you're describing. A big upside down Bart Simpson? I mean, I know what you mean by the price moving down like that. I don't think that's going to happen. This typically only happens when the market is illiquid. If you mean something a little bit like this, that wouldn't be a Bart Simpson. So, unfortunately, I don't understand your question. How long on average does it take to get a good technical analysis skill on a given asset class? I mean skill, not get the knowledge. Gabriel, I don't 100% get your question, but to learn how to carry out technical analysis is something that you only have to do once, and it doesn't take you very long, by the way. We've trained a lot of staff members on this, and typically they get it like in less than a week. You know, and so you don't have to learn TA again for each different asset class you're analyzing. You just have to be able to learn the specific patterns of that asset that it responds to very well. Like, you know, the ascending channels for Bitcoin, you know, other markets might respond very badly to it. So, and that's just experience and you know, your due diligence. You can learn that in a day, or it could take you 2 years. It just depends on how proactive you are. Let's see what else we have here in the comments. See, a lot of people get upset with the idea of me changing my opinion without, you know, but also failing to realize that me changing my opinion is precisely what makes me so much money. You know, being able to trade the downside when it's moving down and then switching to trade the upside when it's moving up means that no matter what state the market is in, I'm making money. No matter what state the market is in, VIPs are making money. Huge, huge, beautiful profit right there. This person opening a long position at 32.4, closing it out, taking the screenshot at 38.8, which, by the way, is this position is now going to be in a much higher profit. So that's very, very impressive. You know, we're making money when the market is going up, and this guy over here making money while the market is going down. You know, being able to change your opinion is precisely what gets you paid. And at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, right? So I think that's a big point, which a lot of people, you know, they're very resistant towards. But you've really got to let ego go. You've got to let pride go if you want to be successful at this game. Should you open a trade before it hits the areas of resistance, or wait and see if it pushes past it? Well, I can't advise you on that, Kai. I generally don't like to trade long positions before resistance. I don't like to trade short positions before support. But of course, I'll make exceptions to those rules whenever I have to. Someone mentioned I can translate in Italian and French. That's cool. If you want to translate in those languages, please reach out on Telegram. You know how to reach me. Tamil, we have no plans for right now. Reach out on Telegram if you want to do some translations for other languages. We already have quite a few, but you know, you can just reach out and we will we'll see if you're a good fit. All right, let's see what other questions we have right here in the comments. Someone's saying I don't want to tackle your question. I don't see your question. If you can write your question instead of complaining about it, I can answer you. What's your view on the CME gap? So Bradley is asking a question about the CME gap, which is basically where if this market you know, ends up closing here instead of way down, there's going to be a big gap because the CME markets were not trading. So we can actually take a look at that right now, because I think those markets might be open already. Where is it? Right here, I think. Yeah, CME, and we can just take a look at these futures. And right there is a gap in the market. So, you know, the market closed out over here on the 24th. It's opened up again on the 26th. Those days between were the weekend, and there is quite a big gap down here. So, kind of between $32,000 and $34,000. A lot of these gaps get filled, so everyone thinks this gap will also get filled. Not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily have to happen that way. I don't have a strong opinion on this. It would be nice if it did. It would certainly be poetic, but There's another gap down here that we still haven't filled, and there's another gap up here that we still haven't filled. I think we haven't filled that one. I'm not actually sure. But overall, sometimes we do miss gaps. I'm pretty sure there's one somewhere in this range as well. We do miss gaps sometimes. Shit happens, and I honestly don't think that this is a very important thing to note. It's not going to affect my analysis whatsoever, so I'm not really paying a lot of mind to it. Thanks for all the TA vids. I bought the course last night. Hopefully it helps. I hope it does as well, Mike. Thank you very much for enrolling yourself into it. If you have any questions or anything like that, then please do reach out. Someone's asking, why did I choose Spanish from Spain? It's where the language originated from. I don't know where else I would choose it from, to be honest. How high do I think Bitcoin can go before its first small retracement? Well, anything I say here has a very high likelihood of being wrong, because I've already been wrong about this once. But I generally think that Bitcoin is going to find a little bit of resistance towards 42, which we're very close to. We're only about $1,000, $2,000 away from that level right now. This is definitely where I expect some resistance. I'm also going to be expecting some resistance around $45,000, and the Ichimoku Cloud closes off at around over here. So there's quite a few resistance areas in this range, but my main one right now is 42. That's where my eyes are at the moment. Let's see what other questions we have. Why did I choose European Spanish? I really don't get this question. Spanish is a European language. Why would I not choose European Spanish? It's a really weird question. I think the first question is a Bart Simpson. If we keep rising from here, the bottom being past months. Okay, so I understand that. That's definitely not what's happening in my opinion. Again, let's just go over what these Bart patterns are. We don't need to actually talk about this right now because the market now has liquidity, it has excitement, so we're probably not going to form Bart patterns. But this person is essentially asking if the market forms something a little bit like this, it forms a head like Bart Simpson's, where, if I just draw this a little bit more accurately, it's something a little bit like this. And then you have his two eyes over here and his mouth. And this looks really weird, but this is a reverse Bart Simpson pattern. I think this is what this person was talking about. The fact is these patterns, they typically, look, what's happening here is a bot is spiking the price in this direction, searching for liquidity. That's what these are. It's testing the upside, testing the downside, searching for liquidity, and whichever place the bot thinks there's going to be liquidity, i.e. wherever it can liquidate the most positions or close the most positions. Exchanges make a lot of money when this happens. That's where the price is going to spike to, right? So it can spike to the upside, can spike to the downside, and each of these tests, right? So like this test right here, it could take the price significantly higher, right? So it's important to understand those things, essentially, because you need to know what you shouldn't be fighting against. These are these Bart patterns, they're very, very difficult to trade. They are designed to make you lose money. They are bots and algorithms designed to make you lose money. So you're probably not going to do very well against them. It's very hard to beat things like that. You are one person in your house compared to the computer systems that Goldman Sachs is funding. So good luck. You're not going to beat it. And so that's what this person is talking about. But typically we only get them in a market with low liquidity, right? And that essentially means when not many people are trading it, which was not necessarily the case down here, but we did have some that looked a little bit like this. So hopefully that answers your question. I definitely don't think that's what's happening. It happens to fit that shape, but I don't think that's what's happening. By the way, we generally only form Bart patterns on very small time frames. So 1 minute time frames, for example, is when we would tend to find those things, maybe 5-10 minute time frames, but I don't think you're going to be seeing it on something like the daily. So hopefully that answers your questions. Thank you all very much for smashing up those likes, by the way. If you're not already, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm wondering where we're at right now. I think we did just pass, I know we did just pass 100,000 subscribers, so thank you all very much. Already nearly at 101, so you guys are doing amazingly. Thank you all for all of this amazing support. Let's carry on going through your questions, and if you have any specific charts that you want me to look at that I haven't looked at already, then now is your time to ask me for that, and I will go through it. Any kind of leverage is recipe for failure. That's your opinion. I think it's quite good if you know how to use it safely. SEC has a crypto deadline from Mrs. Warren. I don't follow US politics, so I don't have a comment on that. And also, you're not asking a question. Oh, you're asking for my thoughts on a potential drop. Well, this SEC news that this person is talking about is going to happen on the 28th, which is on this day. Like, it's on this vertical line. It's the 28th. This person is asking, do I expect a drop? Look, it would line up with the chart. So there's always going to be 1,000,001 reasons for the market to drop, and there's always going to be 1,000,000 reasons for the market to rise up. It's just a case of, which direction are we going in? Who presses publish on the news article? So, it could be, but, on the 29th, there's also going to be something bearish to say about the market, just as there's going to be something bearish to say about the market on the 27th and the 26th and yesterday. Very, very important. I forgot about the Arabic page. Yes, we do have an Arabic page, but I don't think it's started yet. We've just made it like today, if I'm not mistaken. Why are my Ichimoku parameters not the default? So my Ichimoku settings are on screen right here. It is 20, 60, 120, 30. The reason they are like this is because Bitcoin is a 24-hour market. So this is just personal preference. I like to keep it that way. Most of crypto that uses this indicator keeps it this way as well. So it's good to be in congruence with those people. Is this pump... Oh, I've missed that question. I think this person asked, is this pump acceptable or a bull trap? Both, Kunal. It definitely could be a bull trap, and I've been outlining those risks very vocally to you all because I know that most people don't want to acknowledge that downside risk at the moment. It's very unsexy to be discussing ideas like that, and that's why I have to do it. I have a moral and social responsibility to make you guys aware that we're not out of the woods yet. I think we will be if we rise above 42, but we're not there yet. So I think that's important. But yeah, I mean, could it be a real rally? Absolutely. We've reclaimed all the key levels so far, or most of them. Hello from Brazil. Hey, what's up? How you doing? When did I first invest in crypto and why? 4.5 years ago, something like that. And why? No, less than 4.5, just about 4 years ago, a little bit more. Why did I do it? I just wanted to make money, man. I was always interested, and I just wanted to make some money. Forflies, if it drops, it's going to dump. What's the price range you see at dump? So this person is asking, if Bitcoin falls down from here or from here, where do I see it falling down to? Now, I already covered this in the previous video, so again, please go back and watch that. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss content like that. But what I did for you was I drew a Fibonacci from the bottom to the high that I'm expecting, which is $42,000. Doesn't mean we need to top out there, but I think it would be great if we did. And it shows us that we have some good Fibonacci support right here at 34.2. And if I were to draw a horizontal line right here, you can see that the market has definitely interacted with this level very nicely historically right here. So this is definitely a good area of support to be expecting the market to fall down to. I think that can work out quite well. My phone is going crazy right now. It's very frustrating when this happens it only happens during live streams. Well, no, it's a little bit of an exaggeration. But anyway, I think Bitcoin kind of falling down to this level would make a lot of sense. $35,000, $34,000. Just anywhere where Bitcoin was previously finding resistance right here. So, 32 would for me kind of be the final level. I don't want to see Bitcoin entering this blue box again. This is not a good box for Bitcoin to be in. Obviously, I've been very vocal about how low I think Bitcoin can go if it enters this box. And both times it did drop quite low. But not as low as I thought it would. So, I think it's probably not going to go down that low, but it's still something that I would like to acknowledge. So a little bit of support over here I think would be nice. It really depends on where Bitcoin starts dropping from. That's where I would be able to start saying that it might find some support. And then I would also use indicators like the Ichimoku Cloud. So on the 1 hour time frame, we have some good support right around over here on the cloud. Let's wait for it to load up, taking its time. And we also have the same thing, so right here, we also have the same thing on the 4 hour Ichimoku Cloud as well, a little bit lower. And then we have other indicators like our EMA ribbons that provide some information on where the momentum is in the market. Again, definitely offering a good amount of support right here on the 1 hour time frame. You can see this EMA ribbon waiting to load up. And then we're going to see the same thing on the 4 hour time frame, although my god, this connection is turning very, very slow. I'm just wondering if you guys are still getting a good streaming experience. I think you are, so I don't see any issues with this. I'm gonna continue going through your questions. You know, I made a pledge to myself a long time ago to go through every single comment and question ever, but it is starting to become a little bit tedious. I think a lot of these questions are not going to be relevant to most of you, so that's I'm kind of breaking my pledge to myself from when I was younger. Let's see what else we had. What else we have? Amazon is accepting crypto, which is causing a pump. Some whales taking advantage and manipulating the market. Should dump soon. Possibility and thoughts. It's kind of what the whole live stream is about, so I don't know how I can specifically answer that. What do I think about loop ring? I'll check it out in a little bit. Let's see what other questions we have. On what price would I buy back my holdings? Well, I still have most of my holdings. I only sold part of them. I can't tell you exactly where I'd be buying back because that kind of information is what I share in VIP only. Do I like chicken waffles? I don't think I've ever had a chicken waffle. Do you mean chicken with waffles? In which case, no. I've tried it and it's weird. Waffles made out of chicken sounds kind of disgusting. Although chicken with waffles is also kind of disgusting. Is it worthwhile looking at the VPVR? Yeah, I think it is. It's actually one of the things that my analyst wanted me to talk about. So let's just take a look at what's on the VPVR. I didn't read what he said about this, but I'm sure that it's something important because he's great. And let's just wait for this to load up and see what the VPVR is offering us right here. Just as we're waiting for this, I gotta thank you all again for tuning into this one, for hitting up the likes, subscribing, ticking the bell, doing all of that good stuff. We've already had a summary video made and recorded for this live stream thanks to our amazing new video producer on our team, and that video is being translated for you all right now. So if you're one of the people who have a different language, then you get to enjoy that. And yeah, this is just not loading. It's trying to, but it's not. So let's try and refresh this page and see if this is going to fix it. On a different chart, I'm going to throw on the VPVR. Yeah, it's working very well now. And we're going to take the daily chart. We're going to remove all drawings. And let's just see what this chart is showing us right here. So it's showing us that the majority of the support is down here at $34,000. Now, if you don't know how to use this indicator, by the way, pause the live stream right here, type this into the YouTube search bar, and watch my video on the VPVR. But the point of control, I'm sorry, this is the point of control, but the main area of support in this range that we're close to right now is at $34,000. The next big area of support is between 36 to 37. So these are good potential bounce zones for Bitcoin. Let me draw boxes here to make this very, very clear. I'm seeing a good bounce zone being right here, and I'm seeing another good bounce zone being right here. So these are the two kind of levels that I'm going to have my eye on for Bitcoin to potentially find a little bit of support in this market right here. As far as resistance goes, the bulk of that resistance starts at 47,000 and it peaks at 48. It's actually got a trough at 52, which is my level, and it peaks again at 56. So where I would be expecting resistance is, again, I'm going to use another box here to illustrate this. I would be expecting some resistance a little bit around here. Let's make this red. And again, I would be expecting some more resistance probably around over here. These are just the peaks of the VPVR. So, and actually I can expand this a little bit to make it a little bit of a bigger area, because this area of resistance actually stretches from 47 up to $50,000. This is quite a big area of resistance for the market. And then another area of resistance for the market stretching between 55 and $56.7 thousand. So those are the areas that I'm seeing some resistance for Bitcoin on this chart. These are the areas of support that I'm seeing for Bitcoin. And then, I'm sorry, obviously the big area of resistance, the main one in my opinion, is going to be around $42,000, which actually is not shown very well on the VPVR. This is where the VPVR is not a very strong indicator. It doesn't show you reversal points very well. It just shows you where a lot of the price action kind of aggregates together, which is why it doesn't give you a complete view of the market. But now that I've taken it off, I think we now have quite a healthy view of what's going on here. Let's just outline these levels a little bit clearer as well. And right here, I think we've got a pretty pretty good setup. There's a beautiful gap right here between, what is this, $38,000 and $42,000, and then another beautiful gap between 42 and 47. Again, these are beautiful tradable ranges. We've already had VIP members making profits on this on the way up. Obviously, I've shown you many testimonials of VIP members making a lot of money on this on the way down as well. I want to see if I can find you an example of that. I'm sure there were very, very many of them. Here we go. Take a look at this one. Let's show you this. This is while Bitcoin was dropping. Take a look at this. It's this person went short at 35,000, closed at 33,000, and made a beautiful 50% profit. Again, all of this is just going to first trade with VIP, by the way, $11,000 profit. All of this is just going to you know, put you in a position where if Bitcoin rises back up, you're gonna in this case have 50% more Bitcoin. So if you had one Bitcoin when Bitcoin was at, you know, $30,000. And over here, you've traded it in between these two levels, and now you have 1.5. That means, you know, over here you were worth $30,000. Now, at the same level, you're worth $45,000. And when we take this higher, it becomes even more impressive because your $30,000 up here turns into $90,000. The price has only doubled, but your net worth has tripled purely because you've been making money in these ranges, right? They are not to be ignored. This is, you know, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do here to get rich is we want to tap into the power of compounding, right? Let me give you another demonstration on this. I think this is so valuable. Smash up the likes if you already know you're going to be enjoying this. But let's take a starting balance. We can take any figure. I'm going to start with $5,000. You know, all we want to do essentially is be able to compound this, and this is where the power is, right? Let's take the classic example of real estate, where if you're lucky, you're going to be making 8% a year. And you want to be able to make this for 25 years. And let's say you've got the standard American house, which is, I don't know, let's say it's $300,000. These numbers are a little bit difficult to work with, so let's actually just use $1,000. You've made 8% every year for 25 years, and you have $7,000. You've made a 7 times return in 25 years. That is so bloody depressing, but that's essentially what you're trying to go for in the real estate game. This is obviously the most common game of wealth in the world, I think. I might be wrong, but it's definitely, in terms of numbers, the most common game that people engage with in the West. Just real estate. You get your best case scenario 8% profit a year for 25 years in a row. You've made $6,000 on your initial 1,000. So extremely depressing numbers, but that's how it goes. What we're trying to do in these markets, ladies and gents, is we want to make these 8% profits much faster than 25 years. We want to be able to make 8% profits 25 times within a month, within 6 months, right? And so if I were to tell you that actually you're able to pull off 10 of these 8% profits in a row in 1 month, you've more than doubled your money. This is a very achievable profit to hit. I want to demonstrate to you again how achievable it is to hit numbers like this. I've been outlining to you that if Bitcoin rises above 35, it's probably going to find resistance at $40,000. So let's just ignore this box over here. This is not relevant at the moment. Let me actually take it on a different chart so you don't get distracted by this. The key level I mentioned was that if Bitcoin rises above 35, it's probably going to hit 40 to 42. So it's probably going to get somewhere in this range. That's what I said to you guys in almost all of my previous videos. And this pump up here, this in itself was more than 8%, but you know, I mean, this was a 14% move. And again, you just trade this on, you know, a conservative leverage number, let's say 2-3 times, maybe even 5 times. I typically always use 5 times leverage. That's going to be a 14 times 5% move, which is 70% profit, something like that. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Hang on, let me calculate this. 14 times 5 is, yeah, 70%. So you know, it's a pretty healthy gain, pretty you know, easy to hit in this market. The analysis was already there. I kept saying it. It's not like this was difficult for me to predict. Unfortunately, I didn't trade it, but the reason I didn't trade it, and this is huge, this is very, very important, is I don't like to go long in a bearish market. And we are still, I think, overall, unless we break 42, we are still stuck in this bearish trend. We've not broken it fully yet, so I'm reluctant to go long. Now, I'm a little bit less reluctant today than I was yesterday for example, but I still have my principles, and they are extremely important. It's very, very important that I abide by them. So there you go. It's fairly easy to pull off that kind of profit. And again, just taking it back to this demonstration right here on screen, this is really all we're trying to aim for. We want to be able to aim for these achievable profits consistently over time, because this is what really compounds our money. I think there's no use in aiming for the one big 50% profit, but then risking losing your money and also losing 50% of it, and then you're absolutely in a completely terrible position where you started with 1,000 and you're down to 500, right? When you're just aiming for more achievable, 8% profits, for example, and you're just able to compound that consistently 20 times, and you're able to do this, say, across 2 or 3 months, you've quadrupled your money and then some, right? Just by aiming for a very, very achievable profit number. This is something that anybody can hit fairly easily in these markets. Look at this. If you took a short position at this resistance level right here and traded it down to, let's just say, the top of this range, you've made a 3% profit. And if you leverage that up again with 5 times, which is what I typically use, this 3% profit turns into a 15% gain. So you've nearly doubled the 8% that we are aiming for right here, just to show you how achievable it is if you're playing with leverage. Now, obviously, it's very risky and it doesn't work out this way in practice every time. You need to be good at it, and you need to be able to learn how to use this tool safely. But these are things that we are teaching to you all from start to finish for complete beginners and players with a little bit more of an advanced skill set in this market. We've got courses for you to be able to learn how to use all of these tools, and then more importantly, to be able to watch me implementing the lessons that I'm teaching you in real time. You're going to learn it all through the course, and then you're going to watch me using it in this market. And obviously, there is no better time to be in than right now. We're really close to 1,400 members, just kind of ping-ponging around the high 1,300s right now. So very, very cool. But anyway, this is what we're aiming for. If we were to do more exciting numbers, like let's say just 10% profit every single time, your 4.6k has turned into 6.7. So again, this just goes to demonstrate to you that, if it was something like 20% profit, it just turns into absolutely ridiculous, inconceivable numbers. Your 1,000 has now turned into 38,000. This is the power of compounding profits. We're not looking for shit coins that are going to move up like Doge, right? Doge is very much a unicorn, and obviously if you've held it, that's phenomenal, and I'm very, very happy for you for making money. You did make money in a stupid way, but congratulations nonetheless. But this is not the kind of thing that you can repeat. You can't consistently repeat the kind of gains that Doge has had, and more likely there are many more losers in this market than there were winners. More likely you are going to lose a bunch of money, and then the other guy who's just aiming for his consistent 20% profits, gets him 20 times in a row, which obviously is not going to happen. You're going to have some losses along the way, but when you're aiming for those more consistent moves, this is where the real compounding happens. And I just want to put this into perspective for you. Doge from, let's say, the April low up to the all-time high managed to rise up by 1,400%, which is a 15 times gain nearly, if I'm not mistaken. You would make more than that just by following this, much simpler, easier strategy, in my opinion. I think it's easier. It's much easier than picking a shit coin, and each of the shit coins have absolutely no reason to pump up. So you're literally just closing your eyes, sticking your hand in a bunch of shit, and hoping that one of them have a golden ring in it. I think it's quite pointless. I would rather be able to make my luck than wish for somebody else to give it to me. But I guess that's just me. So so not everybody can think like that, and that's completely fine by me. Anyway, let's take it right back to your questions. Here are the steps for VIP if you want to be able to join our amazing group. Let's see what else we have right here in the comment section. Do I have any thoughts on Pulse Chain? No, I don't. It's Richard Hart's new project. Richard Hart is a legend, but this guy, he keeps jumping from project to project. Didn't he have like Bitcoin Hex and it just didn't take off? Joey, I asked my question 26 times now, but I still don't see your question. So, and I've already mentioned that I don't see questions where you don't write my name in them. If you write my name, it highlights your question. If you don't, it doesn't highlight your question, and I'm not going to see it when there are thousands of comments here. I see the trend line from the all-time high maybe hit at around 42k. Maybe you get a drop from there. Absolutely, I think that's possible. I've been talking about that today. On what price do I buy back? I already answered that one. Why did I name myself Four Flies? I've always been confused. Mate, I'm confused. I don't know why I picked this name. It's such a stupid name. Let's see what else we have. Do I believe in golden crosses? Not necessarily, but it's good that we're probably getting one. Where should we look to close longs? I'm not your financial advisor, so I can't answer that. Does anybody else's CPU fan speed up when the price is pumping? I'm not so sure, mate. Could I take a look at MRI? I'm going to give it a try out of respect for Tone Vase. I don't use this indicator enough, and I think I really should because it was amazing. Although, to be honest, Tone Vase makes a video every day, and I don't think there's any reason for me to analyze it if he is analyzing it, because obviously it's his indicator. He's going to know best where to use it. But anyway, I'm gonna take my shot at it and just see what happens. MRI on the daily here gave us the buy signal right here, indicating a potential run up. And if I add the trend numbers to this, bear with me, you can start to see how confusing this is if you're not used to it. We're on our 6th day of moving up, so this is indicating, I think, 3 more days of upside before potentially dropping back down. And we don't actually need to trade upwards. We just need to be anywhere above, I think it was $35,000. As long as Bitcoin is above this level in 3 days, it's going to start initiating a bearish count where we have to start trending downwards according to this indicator. Let's take a look at it on the smaller time frames. I'm wondering what else this is showing. By the way, if you do want this indicator, you can Google this name, literally put it in Google, not in YouTube. You're going to find Tone Vase and his website where you can buy the MRI indicator. Anyway, we've had extension B and extension C here, indicating that the market is moving very strong. We had a bearish count here. This didn't work out, and we're on candle number 8. So the shorter time frames are showing that we have more upside remaining. We can still... I'm not showing you the chart, am I? Wow, that's annoying. How have I forgotten to show you my chart? I'm so sorry for that. Just realized. Oops. This happens way too often. Anyway, let's go back to the MRI here. I think this was the first thing I was showing you. We turned bearish over here. This is so funny. Why do I keep on doing this? We had the number 6 over here. This typically goes up to a 9, and then the market will stop trending upwards. Here we go. It's been fixed. Sorry for that. And then the 4-hour time frame, you know, it's showing us some more upside potential right here. So there you go. Very sorry for that. Let's go back to your questions again. Oh, here's a cool comment. Scott's is up. Scott's Forflies just smashed the course. Loved it. Already up 400. Feeling good. No one in my family believes me, but that makes me even more motivated. I've started with $2,000. My goal is 10,000. All right, there we go. So Scott's here in the comments has just gone through our course. Started with 2,000, is now up by 400. So you're up by 20% after watching the course. That's just the course. Is it just the course, or are you also in VIP? You're feeling good. Your family doesn't believe in you. Your goal is 10K. I remember when I hit 10K, and I didn't come from a wealthy family. I was raised on welfare and stuff like that. And my family told me to quit, bro. Like, everybody was like, you got your 10K, leave, take your profits, leave, go back to studying. And thank God I didn't listen to them. So let me know when you hit your 10K profit, mate. I mean, your 8K profit. That's very, very cool. And yeah, congratulations on a good start. Obviously, make sure that you don't let it get to your head. By the way, if you're in VIP, what you'll see a lot of the time is when I make a really good profitable trade, I actually, even if the market still looks good, I generally stop trading. And the reason for that is it's so easy to let the success get to your head and make you feel like you're a genius. And when that happens, you're going to start taking unnecessary risks that you otherwise might not have considered taking. I see we just have a new testimonial that came in right now. Take a look at this one. This just came in. This was like 40 minutes ago. Take a look at this one. Thank you. Just in case you wanted to show a VIP result from the other date, thanks for your continuing. I don't give advice, so this person is wrong about this. But thanks for your continuing insights, we'll call it. And this person making a 1.77 Ethereum profit, which is absolutely amazing. Bear with me here. All right, I think I just ended the live stream by accident, but let me know if I'm back. I think I am back, so sorry for that. But anyway, beautiful profit. This just came in as we were live streaming today. I'm going to go on with the rest of your questions. Again, if you're enjoying this live stream, then do make sure to hit up the likes. You already know what to do. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. Like I said, thank you all very much for 100,000 subscribers. Guys, if you're new to this channel, by the way, please check out this video. Go to the YouTube search bar and type in /beginners. This is going to take you to, or just beginners /, whichever. If you type beginners or /, first, it doesn't make a difference. This top video right here, how to turn 1,000 into 1 million, is my in-depth guide for beginners to get started on Bitcoin. You don't need any prior knowledge on Bitcoin, and I'm going to teach you the fundamentals right here in this video. So you guys have loved it. Please do check it out if you haven't watched it already. It's free, and I've been saying it for a while. It shouldn't be free. This is such a good video that you wouldn't generally find videos that are this conclusive for free. So you should use it if you think it might be useful for you. StuTube, thumbs up for the University of Forflies. Way more value from this channel than several years and many thousands of college. Thank you very much, StuTube. Yeah, it generally goes that way. It's not just how amazing our content is, and obviously it is great, but generally the self-education you can gain by reading books and buying courses and stuff is going to be better than a lot of uni degrees. You know, for just making money. If making money is your objective, then yeah, it's almost always going to be way better. You know, if you obviously, I don't need to say this, but there's going to be some smart ass idiot that wants to point it out. But if you want to be a doctor or an engineer or something like that, obviously you need to go to university. But if your objective is just to make money, it's really not necessary. Let's see what else we have here. Can I do cycle analysis on Bitcoin? What do you mean by cycle analysis? You mean like large scale stuff like that? Martin is asking, how can I trade from the UK with the current FCA ban? I can't answer that for you. I have heard of something called a VPN, but don't know. Yeah, I mean, this is why I've moved out of the UK. Don't live there anymore, and the whole company is abroad. I mean, I've just got no interest in the UK. It's a joke. Let's see what else we have here in the comments. If you guys have any final questions, I'll go through them now. Otherwise, thank you all very much for tuning in. It seems the only other chart you guys want me to look at is Loop Ring, which, if I'm not mistaken, is LRC. Is it LRC? Let me just type in Loop Ring. Yeah, it is LRC. Let's take a look at it on Binance against Tether. Why is Loop Ring so interesting to you? This doesn't look interesting to me. So maybe I'm missing something. I don't have any analysis I can do here, really. I mean, it's just moved from 18 cents up to 23. I don't know what that is, like a 25% profit. Yeah, it's about 25-30% profit. I mean, it's got a, oh, what have I done? It's got a little bit of resistance right here, and I think that if it breaks this I don't know if this is real resistance though. I think if it breaks the resistance around about over here, it could start rallying up to levels like 52 cents. I think actually, yeah, it's got, I think it's like 1 or 2 steps away from massively rocketing higher. That's basically what I think, up to about 50 cents. That's what I think we might be looking at right here. Waiting for you in Lebanon. I will come to Lebanon very soon, inshallah. I would love that. That would be very, very cool. Alright guys, I think I'm going to call the live stream to an end here. It looks like there aren't many new questions. Yeah, I'm going to be with you all. Oh, Bitcoin's taken a small dive down. It's down to 38,000. So this this rally did not work out. I mean, this is not a concern for me. If Bitcoin drops below this level, below 37 point... basically, if Bitcoin drops below 38,000, I would expect it to fall down to about 35, maybe 36. if it gets lucky, you know, stopping around about here or 35. But in any case, I mean, I'm not going to be too worried about this. I'm going to be in the VIP Telegram channel, and of course, some of the content that goes into VIP also goes into 4Flies Gold, which is our free Telegram channel, and you can find that by clicking on this first link in the description down below. A lot of you guys asked me for a free trial on VIP. 4Flies Gold is your free trial, and it's there forever. So you're always getting a lot of free content from us with this YouTube channel, with 4Flies Gold. Go ahead and check it out. It is absolutely great content. You can join it by clicking on the link in the description down below. And then on the @4Flies button, you can click on send message to ask me how to join 4Flies VIP if you want to take everything to the next level. All right. I think that's going to be me for this one. And thank you all very much for tuning in. So let's get one last pump up on those likes. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.